This is the weekly sales meeting for January 25th, 2026. My name is Chris Fleming. You can reach me at chris@cdmediaconsulting.com or go to our website at cdmediaconsulting.com. Today's topic, words have meanings. In the selling world, words aren't just words. They're tools. Every sentence you speak either earns trust or erodes it. Words shape perception. They steer the conversation. They create momentum or they stall it. They either pull the buyer in or push them away. That is why top sellers obsess over language. They know that phrasing isn't fluff, it is leverage, because psychology drives decisions, and every word you choose either opens a door or slams it shut. Say it right and you move the deal forward. Say it wrong and it's over. You don't ask a prospect to sign a contract, you ask them to approve an agreement. One feels cold and legal, almost like a trap. The other feels collaborative, like a natural action or next step. You don't say cheaper, you say lower cost. One screams inferior, the other signals smart value. These aren't just simple word swaps. They are intentional shifts in tone and meaning. This isn't about trickery or spin. It's about using words that guide, not guard. Using words that open doors, not words that intimidate the buyer. Words that move the conversation forward, not shut it down. Want to sound more credible? Strip the jargon. Drop the buzzwords. Cut the fluff. Use fewer, simpler words that land clean and clear. Say, the reason for my call is, instead of, just checking in. One communicates purpose, the other signals you've got nothing to say. Buyers don't have time to decode vague messages. They respond to directness. They trust clarity. In a world where everyone is pitching something, the seller who speaks with confidence and purpose stands out. Clarity isn't only polite, it is persuasive language. Small tweaks make a big difference. You're not sending a quote, but offering a proposal. Don't use the phrase list price, instead use base price. Don't say most expensive, but use the positioner premium offer. Don't talk about costs, talk about investments. These aren't semantics, they are signals. They tell the buyer how to feel. They frame the offer in terms of value, not risk. The words you choose either build trust or build resistance. And trust is the currency that closes. Every phrase you use should move the conversation forward. Words shape perception, and perception shapes decisions. Choose wisely. Speak with purpose. This is about trust. Language is either a bridge or a barrier. When you speak in ways that make people feel safe, respected, and understood, they respond in kind. They lean in. They listen. They move closer to yes. Every word you use either opens the door or closes it. Words shape tone. Tone shapes trust. And trust drives action. It is not about sounding smart, it is about sounding real. When your words connect, your message lands. And when your message lands, your deals close. Think about your own experience. Ever walk into a store and feel immediately pressured? The words matter. Can I help you find something feels like a trap, as if you are bracing for a sales pitch that is surely coming. But what brings you in today invites a real answer. It is curious. It is open. One feels like a script. The other feels like a conversation. That difference matters because people don't like to be sold. They like to be understood. The way you open the door determines whether the door stays open. It also determines if the door slams shut. Choose wisely. Some have had the experience of shopping at Dillard's, the department store. They train their associates to approach each customer in a manner that invites engagement. Instead of looking at the customer and saying, "Hi, can I help you?" these associates are taught projection. A helpful seller might say to you, who has a sweater in her hand, "You know, we have that in blue and green also. I think the green will go with your eyes." This proves not only inviting, but also flatteringly helpful. I realize that there is a difference between retail sales and our outside sales world, but you get the point. This is even more important in outside sales. Business owners are pitched constantly, and it's not just other media sellers, it is vendors, platforms, and tools. They have heard every buzzword and sat through every generic presentation. If you sound like everyone else, you get treated like everyone else. That means ignored, dismissed, or worse, ghosted. But if you show up differently, you will stand out. Show up with intention, precision, and words that feel authentic. You will create contrast, and in a marketplace overloaded with white noise, contrast is currency. Your language becomes your edge, and your edge is what gets you in the door. Your language should reflect your expertise. You are not just selling airtime, you are solving business problems. Don't sell spots, sell solutions. Don't talk about impressions, talk about impact. Don't pitch packages, present outcomes. Business owners aren't buying a media schedule, they are investing in a result. They want more customers, more calls, or more revenue. Your words should make that connection clear, because when you change the frame, you change the result. And the seller who controls the frame controls the conversation. More often than not, this leads to the close. Steve Jobs once said simple can be harder than complex, but it's worth it because once you get there, you can move mountains. This is not only a design principle, it is a sales principle. Simplicity builds trust, it brings clarity, and clarity drives decisions. When your message is clean and direct, people listen. When it is cluttered with jargon, they tune out. Complexity creates hesitation. Simplicity drives action. If you want the customer to move, remove the confusion. Say what matters. Cut the rest. This is how deals get done. That means cutting the filler. Drop the I think and the just checking in. Those phrases weaken your message before it ever lands. Be bold. Be direct. Say, I recommend this approach, or here's what happens next. Speak like someone who knows what they are doing. And you can do this because you do know what you are doing. Confidence is contagious. When your language is clear, certain, and purposeful, your clients feel it. They trust it. They follow it. Your words should carry authority, not apology. That is how you lead a conversation towards a decision. And remember, your tone matters. It is not just what you say, it is how you say it. Every word carries weight. Words like premium, strategic, and proven position you as a trusted expert. They set the tone for a serious, valuable conversation. On the other hand, words like cheap, maybe, still, or just weaken your stance. They plant seeds of doubt instead of confidence. Clients pick up on that, they feel it, and they decide accordingly. Your tone should say, I can help you win. Anything less sells you short. The best sellers don't wing it. They prepare with purpose. They write scripts, rehearse their language, and refine their message. They don't practice to sound robotic. They practice to sound deliberate, intentional, and clear. When you know exactly what to say, you are free to focus on delivery, tone, and connection. It is not about memorization. It is, however, about mastery. Great salespeople don't leave their words to chance. They craft them like tools. Because when the message lands right, the conversation moves forward. This is where most sellers miss the mark. They obsess over the pitch deck. They practice closing techniques. They fine-tune their pipeline, but they overlook the most important tool they have. These are the words coming out of their mouth. And those words, they are either moving the deal forward or pushing it away. Every phrase, every sentence, every pause has impact. Language is leverage, and when it's careless, it costs you. When it is crafted, it converts. Want better results? Start by mastering what you say and how you say it. Here's the challenge. Audit your language. Take a hard look at what is coming out of your mouth and hitting your email. What do you say that weakens your message? What phrases make you sound uncertain, generic, or just like everybody else? What words can you upgrade to reflect more confidence, clarity, or value? Where can you replace clutter with precision? Where can you be more clear? How can you simplify it to make it more effective? Because when your words improve, your results follow. Strong language leads to strong sales. Always has, always will. Start small. Replace just checking in with the reason for my call is. Swap contract for agreement. Use investment instead of cost. These may seem like subtle shifts, but they change the temperature of the entire conversation. They take the pressure off and add purpose. They move you from transactional to strategic. These aren't word games, they are signals. Signals that say you are thoughtful, confident, and professional. When you start speaking like a trusted advisor, people start listening as if you are one. These are small, subtle moves that make a big difference. Because buyers don't just hear your words, they feel them. They pick up on your tone, your confidence, your intention. They respond to what those words imply, whether you realize it or not. Are you uncertain or decisive, pitching or solving? Your message is more than just information, it is influence. Every phrase you use builds trust or chips away at it. That is why great sellers choose their words like pros choose their tools. We choose them with purpose, precision, and a clear goal in mind. Sun Tzu wrote in The Art of War, victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. That is what we're talking about. It is sharpening your language, honing it so every sentence carries weight. Every phrase builds trust. Every word drives clarity, confidence, and connection. When you speak with intention, you stop wasting time. You stop losing deals because you use vague or clumsy language. This isn't about scripts, it's about precision. Because in sales, the sharper your words, the faster you cut through the noise. Then, the closer you get to a yes. If your sales aren't where you want them to be, you should not only examine your product, your pricing, and your pipeline, look at your words. What are you saying? How are you saying it? Are your phrases building confidence or creating confusion? Are you guiding the buyer or losing them in the weeds? Language isn't filler, it is leverage. It can quietly kill momentum or quietly create it. The right words earn trust, spark action, and move your deals forward. They might be your silent culprit or your secret weapon. Choose wisely. Speak with purpose. Instead of saying, I just wanted to, whatever it is, remove the qualifier. The word just diminishes the impact of what you are going to say next. Whatever it is will now be given low status. Instead, you can say, I am reaching out because, and then state your purpose. This is an active voice action. Don't say, let me know if you have questions. Instead, substitute that weak ask with a direct movement ask. You can say, what questions do you have? This is, once again, a more active movement. Don't brag on yourself with your phraseology. Instead, let your results speak for themselves. Don't say we are the best at what we do because no one cares but you. Move your action to how you have impacted other customers. You can say, here's how we have helped businesses like yours, including businesses X, Y, and Z. Rather than use a tired phrase like, let's circle back, you can pivot your language to something more active. You can be direct and impactful by changing this to, let's reconnect on a specific day at a specific time to work on the next steps. Early in my selling career, I often used the phrase, does that make sense? And it was effective until it wasn't. Now, a better way to say something of the same sentiment is to talk about alignment. How does that align with your stated needs? The world is looking for alignment, not merely making sense. I have heard others say, we want to earn your business. In today's selling landscape, we can shift to, here's how we will deliver value for you starting on day one, ... Words shape how people see you, and how they see you determines whether they trust you. Say the wrong thing and you sound unsure. Say the right thing and you sound like a pro. Perception isn't fluff, it is a filter. Buyers use it to decide who gets their time, their attention, and ultimately their money. That is why your language matters, because perception drives trust, and trust is the currency of sales. Protect it, build it, spend it wisely, or risk losing the deal before it ever gets closed. My new book, Double Your Revenue, is now available on Amazon.com. If you like what you have heard here today, please consider ordering a copy or two. You can always send one to a friend. Go to cdmediaconsulting.com right now and follow the instructions to order.